All right, let's get into it, fellas. So I'm going to explain. Look at that jawline. Anyways, I'm going to explain how I went from invisible to irresistible. All right. Literally, I feel like a lot of people can't talk about this because a lot of people have never been as cooked as I was. Right. Like, I went from looking like the dude from Ned's classified survival guide to literally being a Chad, bro. And it's like the differences I've noticed in real life has been the biggest, obviously online as well. But real life has definitely been the biggest. It's been crazy. And I just wanted to share the experience because I feel like a lot of people who are on the cook side, right, who are like invisible. Literally, you go somewhere, no one knows you exist. You might be in groups or classes, or even at work, you feel invisible. Nobody sees you, no one looks at you, no one pays attention to you. If they do pay attention to you, it's usually when they're roasting you. Like, I'm going to explain exactly how fitness, how this body game shit really changed my life. Because I literally, like I said, I literally went from getting rejected, getting ghosted, getting disrespected by chicks who were not even attractive, to getting flown out by bad bitches. Right, number one, getting hit up first by hella bad bitches, and getting different opportunities with big companies and getting respect from people I respect. You know what I'm saying? And inspiring people, you know, that I respect as well. Like, so it's really been a huge change. And I just want a lot of people to know that it is possible. It's definitely 100% possible for it to happen to you as well. But you really have to put the work in, right? Everything happens on the other side of work. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so this video is for if, like I said, you feel invisible when you're around women, which I literally, I swear to God, I was. I just was. I just didn't exist. Like, when it comes to the way women see things, you have to meet a certain threshold for them to even consider you an option, right? Like, you got to meet a certain threshold for them to even see you. So for me, I was always disqualified before I even said anything, moved, or did anything. I was already disqualified, right? You feel like women never choose you. You constantly wonder what other guys have that you don't. You hit the gym, you dress better a little bit, but nothing changes, right? If you have never been a woman's first choice, which that was me, right? And then of course I was, all the bitches first choice and shit like that. But anyways, you're trying to be nice, respectful, and you get zero results. Never get DMs, get no matches on dating apps, or get no responses. Another thing I've noticed is that a lot of people don't have father figures. Like, if you haven't played any sports, you don't do any like MMA or boxing, or you don't interact with like alpha males or dudes who are on their purpose, or guys who are successful with women and stuff like that, then you're going to be around a lot of beta cucks and you're not going to know anything. So I'm just here to give it to you straight because a lot of people don't tell you the truth, and I'm here to tell you the truth because shit, like, I wish I knew this shit when I first started dating and learning about women. All right, so like I said, I've been on both sides of the body game, right? No one paid attention to me here, right? My mom would even call me cute, bro. She'd be like, eh. She would even call me cute, bro. I was cooked, bro. I'm telling you, right? And like I said, being invisible in the same lifetime as being a woman's first choice, it's a crazy feeling. It's night and day difference, bro. And like, I know a lot of you guys are out there right now. You're out of shape. You feel me? You're either skinny or you're fat. You feel like shit. You're like, damn, I don't know if I could do this shit, man. I don't know if I could. The inner work is also underrated, but if you put in the work, you're really gonna get to the other side. When you start working out, you start putting on that muscle, right? You start getting that confidence. You start keeping commitments to yourself. You feel proud of yourself when you accomplish a goal. Like, you're like, I lifted 225, right? I squatted 225. You see what I'm saying? I made improvements. I showed up when it was raining. I got another paycheck. I stacked up 10K. I stacked up 5K, whatever it is, right? You start building these wins, you're going to gain more confidence, all right? Now, let's talk about the invisible version of me, right? Low energy, obviously, skinny, fat. Like, I was super skinny, you could see, but I had like no ab definition, and I had like a little gut. Like, if I took my shirt off, I had like this little gut, kind of like that Haitian dad belly, right? You know that eating too much rice. You know what I mean? That type shit. I had that little belly, right? Always got ignored, and made fun of. Like I said, in high school, I was always made fun of. I was always a kid. They're like, we're bored. The teacher's late. Let's make fun of Luther. Like, that was it. I was always getting roasted, right? I always blamed luck, genetics, women, all that shit. But in reality, when I look back at it, and no one's gonna save you but you. But when I look back at it, I was like, I was cooked, and I wasn't helping myself by how I was dressing and how I was presenting myself. I wasn't helping myself, and I wasn't working on myself either. So you can blame the bullies, you can blame the world, but at the end of the day, you could only control what you do about it, right? The year that snapped me out of it, man. So obviously, like I said, senior year of high school, getting roasted every morning, sitting alone at lunch, getting rejected by an ugly chick. You feel me? For prom. But I'd even ask her out. She told me she would never go with me. She was like, "Don't ever ask anybody. No one's ever gonna be attracted to you." Like, she said that shit unprovoked, bro. I always talk about that moment because I'll never forget it. I was like, why did that ugly chick, like, objectively ugly chick, like, go out of her way, run up to me, to tell me that I would never have a chance with her or any other chicks? Like, why did she tell me that? I don't even talk to anybody in class, right? So I was tired of disrespect, man. I was sitting alone at lunch, you feel me? Like, dealing with the gastritis, where that shit sucked ass. Obviously, I didn't even ask anybody prom because I knew I couldn't get a date. I didn't get hugs throughout like my entire year of high school, bro. Like, I didn't get any hugs, right? And this right here, this was 2016, right? So this was after high school. This was like a year after high school. I came back home after going to college for a year, learning a little bit more about myself, and I was like, "Yo, man, I gotta really lock in, man. I prioritize fitness, but I never take it seriously. I still look like a pencil neck. You know what I mean? My coach used to call me pencil neck. I still look like a pencil neck. I still look like a joke. People still don't respect me. When I say I know about fitness, people laugh at me. You see what I'm saying? When a chick looks at me, she looks disgusted, as if I said something to her. So I got sick of that shit, man. I really locked in, started putting in the work. By the way, man, if y'all ready to put in the work, y'all ready to lift weights, y'all ready to get stronger, you ready to get aesthetic, you ready to eat what you need to eat to get lean. Link is in the description for the Body Game program and the Body Game Nutrition Blueprint. All right. Anyways, step one, stop being a motherfucking bitch, man. A lot of you guys feel sorry for yourself. Guess what? No one's coming to save you. For the last time, say this one more time. Nobody is coming to save you. All right, you got to save yourself. If you feel sorry for yourself, guess what happens? Everything goes downhill. Nothing positive happens. You don't work on what you need to work on. Victim mindset leads you nowhere, right? If you have victim mindset, that means guess what? You feel like a victim. What happens when you feel like a victim? You act like a victim. What happens when you act like a victim? Shit happens to you because guess what happens to victims? Shit happens to victims. All right, take control of your life. All right, make a decision to either lose the fat. I know I've talked to a lot of you guys. You guys are 350, 300, 250. You know what I mean? At like 5'6", that's ridiculous. Like, that means you're eating a lot of food to stay there. So make a decision and take it seriously. A decision means to decide, means to cut off all other options. So make a decision to actually lock in. All right. Make a decision to actually eat healthy. All right. And like I said, I was skinny fat in on Campton. I was like, yo, that's my fault. Right? It's because of what I'm eating, what I'm not doing in the gym. I'm not getting fucking haircuts. All right. So I started lifting again, began tracking my macros and shit like this. You know what I mean? This is like 2 years later when I went to go live in Gainesville. Look at the fucking gains, bro. This pump is pretty ridiculous. Now this pump was fueled by like 500 grams of carbs, by the way. But yeah, man. One more thing you got to really do to lock in, and this is gonna help your mind. This is gonna help your discipline, right? It goes hand in hand with fitness. All right. Obviously, reading and shit like that, but stop chasing, pleasures. I stopped watching porn, bro. I was like, fuck this shit. This shit is literally not helping me anyway. A lot of you guys, you know, play video games and you watch porn, right? And then you feel like you're fulfilled because in the video game you went up a level, and in your mind when you watch corn, you're thinking that you actually attracted someone and did something. So it's fucking with your dopamine, right? It really fucks with your dopamine, and then you get addicted to dopamine hits. You want sugar, you want candy, because that has you know glucose, which crosses the blood-brain barrier. So you're constantly inundated with these dopamine hits and you're addicted to them, and that's all you want. All right. So besides, stopping to watching the porn, I took my nutrition seriously for the first time. I was like, yo, if I want to gain weight, let me stop saying, oh, I eat a lot of food and I can't gain weight. No, nigga. I ate a lot of food for 4 to 5 days, got full, then stopped eating a lot of food. So I was like, let me track my calories every day, even when I'm full. So I did that. I ate every single day in a surplus because bulking was still popular back then. Ate every day in a surplus, no matter how I felt. I was like, fuck it, I don't give a fuck how I feel. I'm just going to delay gratification and do what I need to do to put my future self in the best position. All right. I wrote down my goals. I read them daily to make sure that I stayed on track. Started reading books, applying them. You know what I mean? And did you just hear what I said, by the way? I started reading books and applying them. None of you guys apply books, and that's where the issue comes in. If you read, like I said, if you read and apply one book, you're going to be further ahead than 95% of people. Think and Grow Rich is one of the greatest fitness books of all time. Like, everything in there is talking about delaying gratification. All relates to fitness. Like, you can't not be fit and read that book. It's insane. Like, after reading that book, you should be fit. Period. I focus on what I could control, not what I can't control. I can't control how people react to me. I can't control how people feel about me. I can't control how people feel about my journey. All I could control is what I was doing, and that's what I focused on, guys. And it's super important because I have talked to a lot of you guys, and you guys really do struggle with, like, I know you guys joke about it, and a lot of people joke about gooning and stuff like that, but it's a real issue these days. Like, a lot of people spend a lot of time and a lot of energy doing that, and that takes away from your focus, and that means your mind is over sexualized, which means you can't control, your wee wee. If you're thinking with your wee wee instead of your mind, you're going to make way different decisions. Like, I know some people, you know what I mean? I know some people who, like, were always following OnlyFans models on like Instagram. They're always like super horny. And then the first time the first couple times they smash like two chicks. You know what I mean? They're like 25 or 26. They smash like two chicks, and the second chick they get her pregnant, bro. Like because they're just making, and she's like she's obviously not his type. He just was horny as shit. But also, she's just toxic as hell, and she already has a kid. So now he's the second baby daddy or whatever, and he's in a toxic situation. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't thinking with his mind. He didn't have any, control over his. He didn't have any sexual discipline. Basically, once you master sexual discipline, you will literally you literally will make such better decisions, and you won't be like you won't be. A lot of people get in relationships just because they're like, yeah, I got, she let me smash the first date, let me stay with her. This is cool, this is comfortable. Like once you master sexual discipline, you'll be like, okay, what does she offer besides her body? And you'll be like, oh, she doesn't offer anything, let me go find somebody else, right? So you really need to master that, because it'll help you stay on track with your business. And a lot of people, you know, your creative energy, your ambition, your testosterone, all of that is in your seed. Like when you wake up and you're semen retaining, right? You're actually going to have focus. You see what I'm saying? You're actually gonna have focus. And I'm talking about even 7 days. That's how I know a lot of people don't even semen retain for 7 days straight. Because even after 7 days, you'll feel better. Obviously 14, 30, 60, all that, you'll feel better too. But after 7 days, you'll feel better. So I know a lot of you guys that are like, yeah, man, I don't know. I'm not motivated. Like you must have beat your meat, every day. You don't give yourself 7 days off. All right, grooming and aura. So obviously, finding your look is something that you do. Experimenting with haircuts. This is definitely wrong. I meant to say haircuts, 3 times a month, 3 to 4 times a month is what I meant to say. So haircuts every 1 to 2 weeks is what I would recommend. Skincare basics, obviously, like cleanser and moisturizer if you need it. Honestly, when you eat healthy, you put water on your face and you fucking get sunlight, your skin will be good. If it's really pimply, use Accutane. Go to the dermatologist to use Accutane. That's all you need. That is all you need. All this other skincare shit, it's just giving you skincare stuff that'll make your skin feel dry. So then you need the moisturizer. Then you use the moisturizer. Then they have like, you shouldn't have 5 products for your fucking skin. All right, period. All right. Signature scent for me is just smelling like ass. I'm not gonna lie, but make sure you guys get like Dior cologne, because I've heard a lot of people say stuff about scent. I really never delved into that, bro. Surprisingly, and I've never had a problem with chicks, bro. I've never, and I smell like ass cheek. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I smell it. Nah, bro. Not gonna lie, bro. But anyways, beard or clean shaven look, it doesn't matter. A lot of people are like, bro, dudes. I remember when I cut my beard, dudes were like, oh, you need to grow your beard back, bro. Bro. Chicks do not care if you have a beard or not, dude. They give zero fucks. But they tell you guys like, oh my god, like I want a beard or I don't want a beard, and you guys are like, oh my gosh, she said this. Stop listening to what they say and watch what they do. A chick will be like, oh my god, I love dudes with beards. I only want dudes with beards. She'll go to the Chris Brown concert. She'll follow him around the whole tour, and she'll take pictures with him twice, right? And then she'll be following only niggas with goatees or some shit like that. Or a bitch will say, I only like dudes with baby face, and she'll be following niggas with beards or dating dudes with beards and goatees. It's just if your look is clean, if you have aura, if you have masculine energy, right? Your posture is going to be helped when you're fucking fit. All right. You're going to have calm energy when you've delayed gratification and you've been through trial and error a lot of times and you failed a lot and you succeeded and overcame that. That's where confidence comes from. That's where that inner confidence comes from. Like every time we think of anime characters that inspire us, they always go through some adversity, and that adversity changes them because they were scared. They didn't know what was going to happen, but they believed in themselves and they made it to the other side, and that gives them confidence. That's where calm energy comes from. When you've been through a lot of trial and tribulation. For me, when it comes to just, let's just use one aspect of my life. Obviously there's been some crazy situations with dating, but just with work, like the crazy places that I worked and the shit that I dealt with, just with that by itself, overcoming all of those situations and stressful situations in itself, that gave me a lot of confidence in itself. The fitness journey gave me a lot of confidence in itself. Eye contact, obviously, if a chick's looking at you and you avoid eye contact, she's like, oh, okay, he probably beats his meat, he's not confident. But if, a chick's looking at you and you look at her back and you look, make eye contact, then yeah, she's gonna be like, okay, this dude's confident. All right. So a lot of you guys want to always know this type of shit, like, oh my god, like what changed with women? What's the difference? Oh, tell me some more body game stories. I have like 100,000 body game stories, but I don't want to just tell you guys body game stories. I want you guys to listen to what I say and then, create your own stories, right? Live your life, create your own fucking stories. All right. Not just always, say, oh, I want to hear yours. I want to hear yours. Go live your life, bro. Go live your fucking life and get your own stories. All right. But anyways, what changed with women specifically? I mean, obviously, I was the first option. I actually got messages on dating apps first. In person, I got compliments, like real compliments in person. Chicks would just touch on my biceps randomly or touch on my back and shit like that and be like, oh, wow, this is nice. I wish my boyfriend had this. Yes, I've gotten that. Like, oh my God, I wish my boyfriend's biceps were like this. Oh my God, why can't he look like this? All that shit, right? DMs being sent first, like crazy, bro. Like the amount of DMs I got in first exceeds 10,000 easily. I would say in the year, let me just say in 1 year, in the year 20 was it? Because I got posted on the shade room like I think it was 3 times or 2 times. But anyways, the first time I got posted on the shade room, I was already going viral that year. I think it was 2019, but I got posted on the shade room that year alone because of the shade room as well. I definitely got 10,000 DMs first by bitches just that year, dude, literally, right? But anyways, it's less effort to hold conversation, right? You're not gonna feel like you're interviewing someone. They're gonna be interviewing you. They're gonna be trying to keep a conversation with you. You might even like you might go to the gym and like a chick will start a conversation with you, be like, "Oh, you using this machine?" And you're like, "No." And then she'll be like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "What the fuck does that have to do with the machine?" But they'll start conversations. They'll open it up, right? And yeah, people are want to be around you. They're gonna start conversations with you. They're gonna be more friendly with you, which is gonna open up your, like it's gonna relieve your anxiety when it comes to talking to other people. But it's also gonna open up your conversational game as well. Like it'll be easier for you to conversate because guess what? You're used to conversing and having good experiences because now people are more receptive, right? Simple. And the crazy thing it was like I wasn't even just focusing on chicks, right? Because I know all of like I know there was this one dude in the comments. He's like, "Man, I don't even care. I don't even care about chicks anymore. I'm just locked in the gym. I'm just focused on myself." And then someone like laughed at him, but I was like, "No, that's really what it is. Like what people actually don't realize because like I said, they don't have father figures and they don't have dudes around them that get chicks. Like a lot of you guys just comment and you guys comment stuff based on what you might have read or what you might have heard from some other content creator. You guys don't actually live life and you guys don't actually experience anything or see shit. You know what I mean? Like when I be telling these when I tell you guys these events and stories, you know what events and stories are. It's just shit that fucking happened. All right, so all this stuff's happening to me. It's happening to my friends and shit like that. All my friends get more chicks than me. They're all leaner than me. I always tell you guys this shit, right? But like, it's just normal. It's just normal. But like for you guys are just like, nah, man. Like this one person said that you actually have to do this and do that. You don't fucking know that because you don't do it yourself. So shut the hell up. Like I cannot stand that shit. But when you're really focused on yourself, here's the thing. Let's use two people. All right, one dude is chasing chicks. That's his priority, and the other dude is chasing growing his business and getting as lean as possible. All right. Dude that's chasing growing his business and getting as lean as possible. On the weekends, he'll hang out with his buddies or whatever, de stress. But during the week, he's getting leaner, right? He's 15%. In a couple of months, he's going to be 10%, right? He's making, 80K a year, but by the end of the year, he's going to be on pace for 200K a year. So now his finances are going up and his physique is going up, but his aura is concentrated because he's focused on a purpose. Versus the dude who's focused on chicks, he's going to the club, right? He's popping bottles, spending all his money on chicks. And since he's spending so long at the club and he's not getting any chicks, he's not bringing any home, he's drinking too now. So now he's getting more out of shape. He's gaining body fat. He might show up late to work because he stayed up too late he stayed up late because he was at the club, right? Then he gets fired from his job. Like, this is the compound effect of doing what you need to do versus not doing what you need to do. All right. It's very simple. Like, you can't beat someone who is focused primarily on themselves. That's why every time I walk by a couple, the girl is always going to look at me because I have more time for myself because the guy's spending so much time on the chick trying to satisfy her, you know what I mean, that he can't level up at the rate I level up. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm getting consistent hair because my face is getting leaner all the time. I'm getting leaner all the time. I'm shredded, and he's probably out of shape. He's not getting haircuts all the time. And she's just like, why can't he look like that? You know what I mean? Shit like that. All right. But you're gonna feel like external validation. Obviously, it goes away fast. So you have to really like love yourself because a chick could be like, "Oh my god, I love you so much," and then the next day she could be like, just ghost you or some shit like that. You see what I'm saying? That shit happens all the time. You know what I mean? So you got to love yourself because the love from society, from chicks, that stuff's gonna come and go. All right. But yeah, you're gonna feel powerful walking into any room with your focused aura and focused energy. When you respect yourself, that's gonna change how everyone else will treat you. Because when you respect yourself, people respect you. A lot of you guys don't respect yourself, and you guys don't realize it, but it shows in the jokes that you make about yourselves. Like if you're like, yeah, I'm just kind of fat, and you like make jokes about yourself, that means you don't respect yourself. So people aren't gonna respect you either. All right. Why would someone do something that you're not doing? You see what I'm saying? Why would someone hold a higher standard of you than you hold of yourself? All right. And the confidence wasn't fake, it was built. Because I personally was not born with confidence. I personally never had like confidence. It had to be built. And it's just me confiding in myself because when I say I'll do something, it happens. All right. All right. This is one of my favorites right here. Outcome fucking independence. All right. Outcome independence is going to carry. All right. It's going to carry. The shit literally will change your life. All right. Listen, in any situation, when you don't care about the outcome, you literally hold the fucking power. All right. A lot of you guys try to impress women. You allow their emotions and actions to be controlled. You allow your emotions and actions to be controlled by women. You know what I mean? So you might cut off friends. You know what I mean? You might move across the country for a woman just for her to leave you. You see what I'm saying? But when you're outcome independent, you stand on business. Like women respect that shit, right? Because they know you're not easily swayed. It's just like when you work agency as a nurse. Like they respect you more when you're an agency nurse. They also need you more. You know what I mean? And you're needed, so you have more value, and you're willing to leave at any time. Because I remember, like I would tell the charge nurse, like when I was an agency nurse, I told the charge nurse, I was like, hey, y'all do one thing I don't like, I'm fucking out of here, and I stood on business. You know what I mean? I was like, you guys do this or do that, I'm out of here. So they're like, oh shit, like we're walking on eggshells. We got to be very careful here. You know what I mean? Like this guy's not fucking around type shit. He's standing on business. But yeah, when you're outcome independent, it's like kind of like when you've gone through a lot of sales, right? If you've had a lot of sales calls and you went 0 for 100, right? And then you end up going like, 40 for 40 and you're in rhythm and you have a bunch of clients and shit like that. That means the next call you don't give a fuck what happens because you're used to rejection, and you know that you just learn from rejection, and that just means you're one step closer to someone saying yes, right? But also you already have clients, so you're not even worried about it. So it doesn't really matter. You're kind of like laissez-faire with it. You see what I'm saying? And when you start thinking like that, it's kind of like a Buddhist mentality. You control what you can. You start attracting like people who actually want to be in your life. All right, period. All right, so let me give you the TikTok live example, guys. So I was on TikTok the other day, and this dude was saying that his girlfriend didn't say happy birthday to him, but for his girlfriend's birthday, he gave her like $3,000 worth of flowers or some shit. $3,000 worth of presents and flowers, right? But then when his birthday came up, she didn't give him anything, and he said they've been on and off for 4 years, and he really he really wants to work things out, right? Let me tell you one thing: there is no fucking genuine desire there. Okay, there's no genuine desire. So get out of that situation. If you're trying to, you know, fix things with an ex and it's very hard, it's because there's no genuine desire. Because when a girl likes you, she doesn't make that shit hard. Okay, period. So start realizing that you need to go places where you're actually respected. Because the more time you spend with people who disrespect you, right, the less they're going to respect you, but also the less it shows you respect yourself. Because how could you say you respect yourself, but you are spending time with people who disrespect you constantly? You see what I'm saying? So go through more situations and be more outcome independent. That's why that's one thing that cold approaching will teach you, and why they say cold approach or whatever. It's more so for the benefits mentally, not for like actually getting chicks, right? But if you cold approach a bunch of chicks after like getting rejected 100 times and getting really embarrassed, you're gonna have a little bit more outcome independence. You'll be like, it doesn't matter if she says yes or no because 100 girls already said no. It doesn't really matter what happens. That gives you a lot of power in a lot of situations. And when you're dating chicks and you're not like, oh my god, I hope this becomes a relationship. I want her to be in a long term relationship with me. I need her. When you're not so needy, right? Because when you're outcome independent, you're not so needy. So when you're not so needy, you know what I mean? That's actually when chicks want you more because it's like you can stand on your own and you're strong. But when you're so needy and you're like, I need this girl, it's gonna turn her off because when you are constantly chasing something, it reinforces that you like it in the first place. But when you're desperate energy, no one likes desperate energy, right? All right, so here's the daily system, guys. Very, very simple shit. Eat zero point 0.8 to 1 gram per pound lean body mass, all right, at least. Lift 4 to 5 times a week. Honestly, the leanest people spend 5 to 6 days in the gym, bro. Like the leanest people spend 5 to 6 days in the gym. Like 3 days is I guess 3 days is cool or whatever, but like the leanest people I know, they're moving constantly. They're active, all right, because it is good for mental clarity as well, just to move. You see what I'm saying? Just moving around. Read 10 pages a day. Very fucking important. That's like the hack. 10 pages a day is the hack. All right. Reading is different from audiobooks because it requires you to be present in the moment. And you have to focus all your energy on one thing. Listen to people who inspire you. So listen to some motivation, but it should be someone who inspires you and who's where you want to be. All right. Period. Read over your goals, make sure that you stay on track with them. And then, of course, journal, plan your morning. I always plan my morning the night before. I always write it down in my notes section and say something you're grateful for at night so you can, go to sleep with that grateful mentality. All right. Last time I'm gonna say this shit. No one is coming to save your ass. All right. Like, the thing is, what I've realized, like coaching different people, even on these coaching calls, in the bio I have a link for coaching calls. So I've been taking some calls, like 30-minute calls. Some of them last up to like 45 minutes to an hour of just like, giving advice or like dealing through tough situations. And a lot of people have just expected for some reason to just like be saved, like obviously before the call when I'm like, yo, you must have had no like male influences in your life, but like no one can do the work for you, and no one should be worried about your life except you. No one should be trying to enforce your success except you. No one should be doing the daily tasks that you need to do except you because it's your responsibility. You see what I'm saying? Like accountability is something a lot of guys surprisingly don't have. So stop blaming women, stop blaming society, stop blaming bad luck. It's literally what you're doing on a daily basis. What you do on a daily basis will take you two away from your goals. Two or away from your goals. All right. And one more thing, as men, we need to show up with results. All right, not potential. Everybody has potential in some aspects. We need results. All right, and you're going to track who you are. All right, period. And usually, when I talk about this body game shit, where a lot of you guys say like, "Hey man, I'm not getting choosing shit. Hey man, this, that. Hey, I don't know this." Listen, being overlooked is a signal, not a curse. All right, it's not your genetics. It's not this. It's not that. It's just your marketplace value. All right, you might think you're shredded, and you might be 20% body fat. You might think you're clean cut, and your barber's ass. Right? You might think you have swag, and or you have confidence, but you don't carry yourself with confidence. You know what I mean? So, or you avoid eye contact. It's things like that. So you have to start taking inventory and being honest with yourself. All right, honesty is key. But yeah, nobody's coming to save you. Like all these situations always stem from people expecting handouts and having victim mentality. But at the end of the call, they're usually able to grab hold of their lives and have a step by step of what exactly they're going to do to change your life. Because in reality, guys, you should not be expecting someone to come and swoop and save you like damsel in distress. We're grown ass men. We don't have time for that shit. All right, straight up. All right, one more thing, guys. You're not broken. You're untrained. All right, so in reality, like a lot of people expect to be prodigies immediately, right? They expect to be good at everything and they expect to have the discipline. It's like, no, that's not how it's going to happen. You need time to get better at everything. You need time to develop discipline. You need time to go through experiences because experiences build confidence. Experiences build, like the experiences that you have. Like when I accumulate all the experiences I have, that's what has made me who I am today and made me realize a lot of different things, but also built confidence as well. All right. So get more reps. Now, link for workout programs, nutrition plans, and also, like I said, link for one-on-one calls is also in the description, man. Stay blessed, stay locked in, and listen, stop feeling sorry for yourself.